Alright, so I have a bit of time here on vacation to make a video. I didn't want to go a week without doing like very few videos. I know it's dark, I know it's hard to see me. I know it's not the best quality, but I wanted to do a RANTAMANIA video here. Kind of more of a political video than a wrestling themed video. But, you know, better than nothing, right? I know most of the people on this channel are probably wrestling fans, but whatever. You know, I kind of felt guilty only making, I think, about 2 videos throughout the week it would have been. So I figured I'd make this one. Maybe I'll make more. But the first topic here is I want to talk about Rand Paul and Chris Christie. Chris Christie came out and pretty much shit on Rand Paul for his Patriot Act thing, and all Rand Paul was saying is, you know, let's not use the Patriot Act, it's unconstitutional, which it is. Let's actually use the Constitution to go after criminals. Let's, you know, keep the 4th Amendment in mind. Very logical statements, common sense, you know. And then Chris Christie comes out and says, you know, basically prosecute Rand Paul for future terrorist attacks. They're his fault. Just total nonsense. I mean, how could you prosecute Rand Paul for using his First Amendment right? How could you attack Rand Paul? How could you blame Rand Paul for that? When all he's saying is use the Constitution to go after bad guys, and he's even saying when you find a bad guy, use the Constitution to go after him and get a warrant, which is a totally logical thing to do, you know. But again, you know, all these Republicans, these mainline Republicans, want bigger government, a spy state, and this huge police state, and we don't want that as Americans. We want our personal property, our private documents, information, whatever, protected, because we do have things to hide. We have our bank accounts, we have our credit card information, we have our social security number to hide, and I'm sure there's a lot of things that you have, you know, maybe secrets or whatever you have about yourself that you don't want other people finding out. So it's very logical to, you know, say what Rand Paul is saying. Next topic I want to cover is antidepressants. I saw a study linking them to more negative, more harmful, you know, bad things. And, you know, antidepressants, they were linked to birth defects. And we see antidepressants. A lot of these shooters are hyped up on antidepressants and, you know, SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. That's a specific class of SSRI drugs, and they're very harmful. They cause you to commit suicide, kill other people in extreme cases. And, I mean, that's, you know, again, we hear about a lot of these mass shooters that are on SSRI drugs, are on antidepressants. So, I mean, the antidepressants, the dangers of them have been well established. You know, and I think the best way to solve depression is by talking with other people, you know, having a family there for you, having friends there for you, not by taking a bunch of fucking pills, alright? So, again, you know, we already know they can cause suicide and murder. Now they've been linked to birth defects. So there's many harmful effects of these antidepressants. Next one I want to talk about is global cooling. Now, some scientists came out and said the Earth is going to go through a mini ice age in 2030. Now, a lot of liberals go out and say, oh, all scientists, you know, science says global warming is a scientifically proven fact, when a lot of scientists disagree with the fact that the Earth is actually warming. And, I mean, if you look around the world, a lot of places, it's actually fucking cooling. The ice caps are fucking growing in many spots. You know, record winters here where I am, you know, snowfalls, you know, cold temperatures. I remember summers used to be fucking like 90s a lot. Now the 90 degree days aren't as abundant as they once were here. So, you know, scientists, a lot of them dispute global warming, and there's a lot of facts to prove that global warming doesn't exist, and it's just a big thing to push world government, push a global carbon tax, and push all these bullshit regulations. So, you know, when people say, oh, science agrees there's climate change, no, they don't, because there's a lot of scientists that actually argue the other way. Last one I want to talk about, there was a study you know, that went out and asked kids how they feel about when their parents are on the cell phones. And a lot of them said it makes them feel sad it makes them feel unwanted and shit like that. So now it's come out, you know, they're saying cell phones affect child's, you know, mental health. And, you know, I'm guilty of this too, but I'm sure a lot of people are, especially young people, of being obsessed with your cell phone. And yeah, I mean, I think our culture is just getting way too obsessed with your phones and electronics and shit like that, and we're not talking enough to people. We're not interacting. We're not doing shit. You know, you know, like I spend a lot of time on my phone and shit, but I feel better about it because I actually do a lot of shit to be politically active and actually pay attention to the real world. You know, I just don't spend all my day on my cell phone. I spend a good amount of it sometimes, but not all of it. So, you know, I think we just got to get interacting with each other more off our cell phones. Get outside, you know, work out, you know, because I'm sure a lot of people are addicted to fucking video games and cell phones, and they get heavy, or, you know, they get overweight. So, I mean, cell phones can be very dangerous to our society. You know, they could cause people not interacting with each other. They could cause, as the studies showed, you know, kids becoming more depressed and shit. And they could cause, you know, people becoming lazy. So I think, you know, we need to get off our cell phones, get off our asses, and do shit, you know, spend time with each other. You know, and again, I'm guilty of this too. I'm not sitting up here saying shame on you. You know, I should do a better job too, but I mean, it's just crazy, you know, with all these new electronics, and it is, you know, sometimes it's hard to fucking put them down and shit. But there you go, people. There's your another episode of RANTAMANIA. If I have more time, I'll try to make some more videos during my vacation here. But there's an episode of RANTAMANIA. So there you go, people.